What's going on, guys, and welcome to Who to Sign For. Now in this series I'm giving you my recommendations on what players to sign for a specific team in career mode. But before we go on, I will say that the signings you'll see aren't designed to be realistic, which is very important, and the player ratings and potentials may vary depending on what database you're using and how they perform for you during the season. You don't have to follow all the tips. This is really just a set of guidelines to give you a hand if you're stuck for ideas and want some suggestions on what players you could sign for a certain club. This is mainly aimed at those of you out there who may be new to the game and just want some help, or for those of you out there who are just stuck for ideas on what players you could sign for a certain team in career mode. So in today's episode of Who to Sign For, guys, we are going to take a look at Monaco. Yes, the French side Monaco, who play against Manchester City tonight at the Etihad Stadium in the Champions League. I thought it'd be quite a fun side to look at, really, especially because of how they played this season. And right now, currently sitting top of Ligue 1 in France, and also, of course, into the round of 16 of the Champions League. I thought they'd make quite a fun team to use in this Who to Sign For series. Now, obviously, when I do these episodes, I give you my tips on what players to sign and show you what players would be ideal players to bring in. As I said before, the signings aren't designed to be realistic, but this is quite an interesting team to use because you'll see the team in just a moment's time. Right now, again, in real life, in the Champions League round of 16 and top of Ligue 1 as well, they've got some awesome young talented players, and their budget is around £20 million. And when you look at the objectives as well for the first season when you take over at Monaco, in the league you need to finish in the top 3 and qualify for the Champions League. That's certainly doable. Reach the quarter-final stages of the French Cup. That's totally doable as well, the Coupe de Nationale. And also in the Champions League, just reach the knockout stages, the round of 16. So all three of those aims there, no silverware required in the first season. All three of those aims, pretty easy to achieve, or at least I would say so myself. And when you look at their team as well, it's a really solid team with a lot of good young players as well. This Monaco team, I've got to say, would be a really fun one to do a full career mode with for many years to come, because it's a great team. It's a really, really fun team. There are some good experienced players there as well, like João Moutinho, like Falcao as well, but for the most part, tons of young talent. And I've got to say, I was surprised going through the squad just how many good, decent potential players Monaco actually have at their disposal. I didn't even realise, and that shows you how limited my knowledge of French football is. Especially that guy, by the way, Kylian Mbappe Lotin. He has 89 potential. That striker is a long-term successor for Falcao, is already looking like a great young talent in world football, at least if the game is anything to go by. But anyway, this is their team and how it's set up as well, and you'll see right now they have a few players loaned out as well. Now, I'll mention this in a bit more detail in just a moment's time, but I would possibly recommend recalling a few players if you have some money left over and you want to improve the squad depth here with Monaco. One of their only negatives is that their first team is good, their bench is alright as well, but in terms of real squad depth, there's not actually a lot of quality when you go deep down into the resi. So possibly, if you like, recall a couple of players like Lucina Traore, the giant 6'8", like Marcos Lopez, Saint-Maximin, etc., just for a bit more squad depth. Up to you. As for contracts expiring come the end of the year, there are a few players. I'd only recommend giving deals to two of them though. Aziz Thiam, a 64 rated defensive midfielder, and also Almeida, 66 overall centre back, both of which have some okay potential. I believe they're 78 each. They'll be good enough squad players in the future, and I'd recommend giving them deals just because it's worth keeping them here to keep as many young talents here at this Monaco team as possible. But as for new signings with the French side, then who would I look to buy? Well, as you saw the team just a moment ago, like I said, it's a really, really good team. Quality all over the pitch. But I would say a new centre-back would be required. Right now, they have Glick, and they also have Jemison as well, a young Brazilian talent. And this guy right here, Andrea Raggi, but he is a 32-year-old, 77 overall centre-back who you won't have much of a long-term future for. And he's also someone who will probably start to decrease in ratings come the start of the season. I would possibly try and sell Raggi if you can, like we do to Lazio, and try and bring in this guy, Kurt Zouma, the Chelsea and former St Etienne defender, only 21 years old. It's crazy to think he's only 21 years old. Feels like he's been around forever, but he's already 80 overall in the game, and Zouma at his full potential gets to 89 overall. So he'll become one of the best centre-backs in the world in a few years in the game, and at 80 overall already, he's good enough to go straight into the first 11, and just 21 years old, you're building for the future, and with him being French as well, it's quite a nice feel. Bringing him back to his home country, bring him back to Ligue 1 and take him to Monaco. He'd be a great signing. You might have to give him a wage increase. He may not want to leave London. Not a real surprise, but he is definitely someone I'd recommend bringing in. Once you sold Raggy as well for around his valuation, bring in Kurt Zouma, a bit more expensive. You're spending most of your budget on the guy. He'll cost you around 18 million pounds. That's what we paid for him, but he's got some great stats. Kurt Zouma on the game is just really, really good. Physically, he's really, really good. He's quick enough as a centre-back, 85 strength, 84 jumping, and again, this is at 21 years old. Imagine its full potential, what those physical stats will be. He can play right back as well, and he's 6'3" too, so he'll be a good aerial presence as well. So Kurt Zouma, definitely a player I'd recommend bringing into the club, even though you would be spending most of your budget on the Chelsea defender. However, as I alluded to a moment ago there, this team right now has got so many young talents in it, and so with new signings for Monaco, sometimes when I do these episodes, you guys see me sign like 6 or 7 like really young talented players. With Monaco, you don't really need to do that. I would personally say just bring in one quality player like Kurt Zouma, sell on some deadwood here as well, as you can see I'm doing right now, selling on some players who don't have much potential and have their deals up come the end of the year, but don't really look to make too many major changes with the team. When you think about the objectives at the start of the season, just to reach the Champions League knockout stages, just to reach the quarterfinals of the Cup, and also finish in the top 3, all 3 of those aims are more than achievable with the team you have right now. All you need to do with Monaco when you take them over is take on this challenge of developing the young players, and don't look to make major changes. Just continue to give those young players some first team football, give them as much exposure as possible, help them grow to their full potential as quickly as possible. And don't worry about completely changing the complexion of this Monaco side. The groundwork when you join Monaco is already done for you. You've got a young team, they've got good potential, now just make sure they meet it. That's all you need to do. If you can sell Dorado, I would recommend it. He's a 30-year-old right midfielder, 76 overall, so not too bad, but if you can sell him for a few £1,000,000, what you can do then is recall Marco Lopez from his loan spell right now, bring him back to Monaco. He's the same overall, and he's 10 years younger as well, with, I do believe, 84 potential. So Marcos Lopez, I should say, bring him back from his loan spell. Once you sold Dara, he'll go on the bench, and you've got a young talent there in your first team right now. He'll get some minutes coming off the bench, playing cup games and whatnot, and you're just making the team look even younger than it already is right now. But for more signings in Monaco, once you sign Kurt Zouma, you might not have much money left over, but I would recommend trying to buy a new cam as well. They've got some decent attack-minded players here, but Stendera is definitely a player I'd recommend. He is a Frankfurt midfielder. Right now he's just 20 years old, 76 overall, and Stendera grows to 85 at his full potential. So you don't really need him per se, because as I said, you've got so many good young talents here with Monaco already, but it'd still be a pretty decent option for you to grow as a young talent, and with 85 potential, when he hits his full potential, he'll be a very good cam in world football. So 76 overall, 20-year-old. He won't cost you too much money either. I think we spent, what was it, around £8 million, £8.5 million on Mark Stendera. And again, like Kurt Zouma, a very decent young player, not quite as good, but someone who, again, will grow quite nicely, and a player who will be part of the Monaco side for many years to come, as he'll continue to develop and grow ratings before he gets to his potential, which is 85. So for new signings with Monaco, it really is just those two guys, Mark Stendera and Kurt Zouma. You don't have that big of a budget, £20 million, but again, the groundwork is already done for you, and that's why I think Monaco will be a great career side to use as well. There's so many young talents for them right now. If you can just add one or two like I've done, that's all you really need. You've got enough young talents here already to last you for a lifetime. There's so many great young potential players here. You don't really need to sign too many more and completely change the complexion of the side, as already it's done for you. But still, as I did allude to a moment ago there, I would possibly recommend recalling some of these players on loan. Lucina Traore, Saint Maximin, this guy I recalled as well, 8 Benassa, is that how you pronounce that as well? Just for squad depth, really. Once again, the only real negative with Monaco's side is that once you dive deep into the resis, you've not got much first team quality. So if you want to bring these guys back, I would recommend it just to give you some more cover and more depth in some specific areas. But to be honest, you don't have to if you don't want to. That's just something I decided to do, as I thought it would make the team look a little bit stronger as I showcase how I've done with the team through the first transfer window. So only 2 signings then, £26.5 million spent on those 2 new players, but I would recommend them both, as they're both good enough to go into the first team and can give you solid minutes right from the first season, and of course being good young talents that have some decent potential as well. So this is how I set the team up then going into the first season. Only one player under 80 overall in the first 11. That was both Bakayoko in the defensive midfield position. I also kind of changed it a little bit from the default Monaco lineup as well. I had Sidibe playing left back as well. Mendy went to the bench and just changed a couple things up. But anyway, the objectives for Monaco, as we simulated to the end of the season, as we always do, were to finish in a Champions League place in the league, reach the quarterfinals of the Coupe Nationale, and also reach the knockout stage of the Champions League. With the first objective, the League One, that was met. They finished in third place, so qualified for the Champions League for next season. So already achieving the first objective, that's fantastic news, great start. They also met the cup objective as well. They finished in the semi-finals of the Coupe Nationale before losing to the eventual winners Montpellier. So I achieved both the league and the cup objective, which was fantastic. However, the Champions League was a failure. We were supposed to reach the round of 16 stage at the very least, but unfortunately Monaco failed to get out of the group. They finished in third place. It was a pretty tough group, to be fair. They had both Juventus and Arsenal in it, as well as Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. They finished in third place, went into the Europa League, and as you'll see in the Europa League, they ended up finishing in, was it the quarter-final stage or the semi-final stage? The semi-final stage, before being knocked out by the eventual winners, Celta Vigo. So I failed the European objective. Yes, hold my hands up, got that one wrong, but Monaco did reach the semi-finals of the Coupe Nationale, went one step further than required in the cup, and also did finish in third place, a Champions League spot in the league, which is what they were asked to do as well. So those three objectives right there, I would say they're pretty basic, and you could achieve every single one of them. And with this good young Monaco side, it's a really fun team to begin a career mode with. I would definitely say if you're stuck for a career side to use, if you're someone that plays career mode quite a lot and you don't know what challenge to undertake next, I would definitely recommend, for a bit of a different twist, try using Monaco. Try using Monaco. They've got so many great young talents, so many awesome young players in their team right now with high potential, and most of them are in the first 11 right to begin with as well. So it's a really young team, it's a fun team, and with the budget not being astronomical either, it's not too easy for you to sign world-class players. It's all about developing young players into world-class players yourself. It's a really, really fun challenge, this Monaco team, and I'll definitely recommend it for a career mode if you're stuck for what team to use next, and hopefully these signing tips helped as well. So a big thank you for watching today's episode of Who to Sign For, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the tips I gave, then please do leave a like. Much love to you all, have a great evening, and don't forget to comment as well and tell me what side I should use next in Who to Sign For series, and give you my tips and suggestions on how to manage the team. Much love to you all, have a great evening. Please leave a like, enjoy the video, and I'll see you for the next episode of Who to Sign For very soon.